agency has done for mapping the roadless areas, and then I will pass it to Google to have the presentation of the Google Maps on the global roadless areas, and then the floor will be given to Mr. Chris Vanderbeeker, and so we'll move on to the series of speakers. So, Jacqueline, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Crichton. And I think that pretty much everybody in the room would have chosen on the other side of the picture, so I think my job is pretty easy. But I just have to say two things. First of all, no roads to a green economy. Oh, actually, sorry, I missed the end. But anyway, it's not such a great thing when we think we're trying to build a green economy. So I'm going to try and prove there are roads to a green economy, but there may be without roads, okay, so we'll work on that basis. For those of you who don't know, the agency is a European institution. We actually do have more than the EU 27 countries. We also have Turkey, Switzerland, and our sort of colleagues up to the north, Norway, Iceland, Liechtenstein, of course, but also Greenland. I'm going to talk a little bit about Greenland, because if ever there was a roadless island in the world, it is Greenland. But let me just get started. I wanted to say why Crichton's, I think, very, very strong and rather creative message is so important. It is because when we talk about the green economy, for us in the agency, and I think more and more in Europe, it's about making sure that we have resilience. So it's not just any old environment, it's actually ecosystems which have resilience. What he was talking about is that roads fragment, roads actually destroy resilience, even though you may have the same hectarage with trees. The mere fact that you have something cutting through it can actually break the natural chain of processes. And so, talking about using resources efficiently, yes, we do have services and ecosystems, but genuinely, it's about maintaining the natural systems that will sustain us. And I think that's the paradox. On the one hand, roads bring economic development quickly, but as Crichton has said, there's a downside. Now, one of the things that the agency will concentrate on is the fact that if you want to measure your capitals, what's in the bank, what's out in nature, the wealth of the nation, including the people, you really do have to think of more than one capital. You have to think about the 5 capitals. And measuring that comes in many different packages. So I can give you lots of lectures, but today I'm just going to talk about the spatial side of things. We also in Europe have a big push on something called SITE, the Shared Environmental Information System. It's a very, what I would say, is probably one of the clearest underpinning principles that Europe has around information, because it says it's not enough just to give access to citizens. You actually must proactively share data to make it useful for society and in a way to quality assuring. So the challenge we have when we're doing the work in Parliament is how do you put quality assurance on all the information that people are bringing together to then share to make in the end the underpinning for these kinds of decisions. So this is a world that many scientists love, lots of dials. I mean, I love this car. It's just got everything going. It's got oil, it's got pressure, it's got red things and green things. But this is what Crichton likes. You see, he likes the Porsche version. 4 dials, we're going fast, we're going slow, and basically just a few other things. And that's really our dilemma. How do we capture all that fantastic knowledge and turn it into a Porsche which is going to go in the right direction? Well, this is the problem. We have so many sources of knowledge today. We've got technologies, we've got space technologies, of course, we've got people with instruments, we've got people walking around with smartphones, we've even got polar bears and others that are capturing data for us. So how do we make all of that work? And I think talking about roadless areas is rather interesting because in a way it's not just about us and how we perceive it, it's about the indigenous species that are there as well, giving us messages. I'll explain at the very end of this about the story. So here's the unveiling, from our point of view, of the roadless maps. Now I want to describe why we've done it this way. And I'll explain a little bit later on some different facets, and I'm sure Rebecca will take us sort of right down into this. But we wanted to come with a sense of what roadless meant. So it's not just simply the presence or absence of a road, because you can get that from a satellite image. What we really wanted to capture was the human occupation that goes along with roads. And that's why it has the walking time. So when you see something very dark, like the one on the bottom, the very dark brown, it means that somebody walking, a reasonably fit person, probably in their 30s or 40s, walking briskly would take 2 days to find a road. And what that gives you then is a sense of human occupation as well as the actual physical presence of the road. And that's what we're thinking. That's more along the lines of what you're after. Now, this map is up on Eye on Earth. You can zoom right down to your local neighbourhood, right down to 5-metre resolution in most parts of the world. So, we can do that. And just to show a little bit more closely, I think maybe Redley will go down in even more detail, but you get the kind of message here. There's an awful lot of people living awfully close to each other, but thank goodness we still have a lot of places which are, quote, roadless in the context of this. What this also tells you, though, are the areas that need more attention, where we need to put our efforts to keep them, not necessarily just to preserve them forever, but to understand that every time you put the tarmac down or any transportation network, it will have a much bigger catalytic effect over a larger spatial area. So the way we're working now, and I'll explain why we've done this, is we want two-way communications, but we really want quality assurance as well. So we created a global public service, Eye on Earth, through a network of partners, many other people coming in using all their non-proprietary, proprietary software and so on. And that's really been the point, is how did we get all of this kind of working together? And it took quite some time, because even in Europe we have a huge variety of different people doing things on different platforms and systems and so on. But we needed them all to talk to each other, so that in the end we could share, and besides, we could share information and make decisions both at a local level, at a European scale, and then also at a global scale. And of course we work on applications and web app services and so on and so forth. And all those funky little file types, which I love, KML, CSV. You really go to meetings and that's all they say. That's it, go to CSV. Other teams. But what's much more important is who's doing it. And so with UNEP and with other organizations in the UN and then within Europe, and pretty much as far and as wide as we could go, we've been encouraging people to come into the kind of Eye on Earth family and say, all right, you can share at any level you want. Okay, Rebecca and I could just share our data and not tell anyone about it. But maybe tomorrow we could share it with the Parliament. So we really try to bring people, particularly from our colleagues in the East, from Russia and elsewhere, not so keen at sharing all the time, but now they are, and gradually getting more confidence that they could put it out into the public domain and go the next step. And I think that's really what we're discovering, is that trust and sharing in the end gives us quality assurance, and that's fundamentally what we want. So the way this works is that some organizations, ourselves for example, together with UNET, through UNET Live and so on, we take responsibility for the base maps. We take responsibility that they will work, that they fit together, and that when satellite data or meteorological data come in, the points land in the right place, the houses are in the right place, the mapping agencies are doing the right thing, the geology is in the right place. But then we literally open it up for operational layers to come in, for citizens to come in, for groups studying birds or whatever. And this is an example. So who would have thought 2 years ago that working with the Russian Federation, they would make public their entire cadastre. Every street, every house, everything, who owns it. And just to give you a sense of the transparency, I love the fact that this yellow building here is actually the EU delegation building, and the number in blue, which is a very big number, is how much tax we pay in Moscow. That's kind of interesting. But this just tells you the enthusiasm with which now a lot of countries are working to bring their spatial data structures together. We have legislation that's called Inspire, but it's needed because you can't just chuck anything together. It really has to kind of coordinate. But of course, we want to have social media, we want to have tweeting and so on. Through this two-way conversation, we're able to do that. Now, why do I keep on coming back to this? It's because, yes, drag and drop, very simple. You can create data files, you can do all that kind of nice tech stuff. But crucially, when we want to put a map up like this, as the agency representing Europe in a sense on environment, I want to know that every dot on that map has somehow, it's got our logo on it, has been quality assured. And so to give you an idea, when Crichton said, oh, we'd like a world map, I thought, okay, world map, well, we're going to quality assure it then. So through networks of people, against quality assured satellite data and the geodesy, you then get people telling us how far it is to walk, the 2-day walk, the 1-day walk, the 2-hour walk. So you end up with a quality assured map with hundreds of people participating to actually tell us whether this is what it looks like. But what that means is that a lot of people are now paying attention to roads. They're paying attention to actually what's going on around them. And they're asking, well, what does it mean for the ecosystem? Why do we care about this? So this looks like a wonderful sort of satellite lighting up image, but I can tell you there are some places up north where it's very dark, even in Sweden and Finland it's great. And of course Greenland is entirely dark, because there is only, I think there's 27 kilometres of road on the world's largest island. So it's tricky to grow. It's tricky to build roads in Greenland, that's all I can say. But maybe in Greece as well, you might be quite surprised that when you look there, it's not quite so bright. There's a reason to do it. People are actually living in the landscape. They're living on that ecosystem resilience. They're making sure they have a future. And here are our slimy herders who tell us about what's happening with climate change. They tell us about the ice roads that are dissolving away long before they used to in the past. And it's having these information nodes on top of the kind of information that we get through the normal sensing, the normal physics and biology, that I believe helps us really come with that Porsche view of what the roadless world looks like. Let me finish then with this wonderful person. His name is Tabarak. He lives in the forests in Borneo, and about 12 years ago, when he first started talking to a very famous photographer, Matthias Klum, he said that he could walk for a day and he could capture all the food that he needed for his family. He's a nomadic tribesman. He now has to walk 2 days, the territories of the animals having to spread, because as the forest dries out, because of climate change, the animals that this family would rely on have to move further and further, so they have to go further and further. And of course, what does he report? That now he keeps meeting roads. And where he meets roads, that's the end of his food supply. So this is a real personal story of why roadless areas actually really matter to effectively a modern man, I would say, someone and his family who are living on nature's resources, but are confronting what we're doing to the planet. So the Earth Network is open for everybody to participate in. You can Google, support us. But it's about this systematic framework that it's not just putting any old information in any old place. It's really trying to create knowledge that we build together to then use to make very good, wise, and hopefully some roads in the economy. So thank you very much for your time, and I really would encourage you, if you want to see that map, it's up on Eye on Earth, the roadless areas, and go and investigate it and see whether you reckon that the person who did it actually said the same story as you. Thank you.